Your dog yawned at you today, and you didn't think anything of it. You probably assumed they were tired, or bored, or had just woken up from a nap. But what if I told you that yawn was one of the most direct emotional signals your dog has ever sent you, and you treated it like it didn't exist? Welcome to Cute Pet Family. Subscribe right now, because what you're about to learn will change the way you see one of the smallest gestures your dog makes every single day. And once you understand it, you will start noticing it in moments you never expected. Let's start with the assumption everyone makes. When a dog yawns, the human brain reaches for the most familiar interpretation available, the same one we use for ourselves. Tired, sleepy, bored. We see the open mouth, the slow inhale, and we file it away as a non-event, a biological reflex with no message attached. This interpretation is, in most cases, completely wrong, because dogs do yawn when they're tired, sometimes. But research in canine behavioral science has documented something most owners have never been told. A significant percentage of the yawns your dog produces every day are not about sleep at all. They are a form of communication, a specific, deliberate signal that means something very different from what you've assumed your entire life. The signal has a name. Behavioral scientists call it a calming signal. The term comes from Norwegian dog trainer and ethologist Turid Rugas, whose work in the late 1990s identified more than 30 distinct gestures. Dogs use to de-escalate tension, communicate discomfort, and request emotional space. The yawn is one of the most common and one of the most consistently misread. Here is what a calming signal actually does. It is a tool dogs use to manage emotional intensity in their environment. When a dog perceives stress, conflict, or pressure, either in themselves or in someone they care about, they produce a signal designed to lower the temperature of the moment, to say, in the only language they have, please slow down. Please soften. I am not comfortable. The yawn is one of the most powerful versions of this signal. It is slow. It is deliberate. It is often produced with direct eye contact or a slight turn of the head, and it is almost always meant for you. Here is when it happens, and you will recognize every one of these moments. The second I describe them, you are training your dog. You repeat a command 3 times. Your tone gets sharper. The dog yawns. You think they are bored or being stubborn. They are not. They are telling you, you are pushing me. Please ease off. You are leaning over your dog to put on a leash, a harness, a coat. The dog yawns mid-motion. You think they are uncomfortable with the gear. Sometimes that is true. More often, they are responding to the way you are looming over them. The yawn is a request to give them space. You are upset about something completely unrelated. You are pacing. Your voice has an edge. Your dog walks over and yawns at you. You think they are tired and want to sleep. They are not. They are reading the chemical and behavioral signature of your stress and trying to bring you back down. That last one is the one I want you to sit with, because what your dog is doing in those moments goes deeper than communication. It is something closer to care. Here is the science behind why this works the way it does. A 2008 study published in the journal Animal Cognition demonstrated that yawning is contagious between dogs and humans, but only in one direction that matters. Dogs yawn in response to human yawns, particularly the yawns of people they are bonded to. Researchers at the University of Tokyo replicated and extended this finding in 2013, and the data showed something remarkable. Dogs were significantly more likely to yawn when their owner yawned than when a stranger yawned. The contagion was driven by emotional connection, not by visual mimicry. What that tells us is this: yawning in dogs is wired into the same neural circuit that processes social and emotional information. It is not a reflex disconnected from feeling. It is feeling expressed in the body. When your dog yawns at you in the middle of a tense moment, they are using the same biological mechanism that makes humans yawn when their own emotions are running high, to discharge tension, to soften their nervous system, and to signal that softening to whoever is watching. The yawn is not the absence of communication. It is the communication. There is a second layer to this that most owners completely miss, and it changes how you respond. When your dog produces a calming signal and you ignore it, the dog does not stop trying. They escalate. The signals get larger. A yawn becomes a lip lick. A lip lick becomes a head turn. A head turn becomes a paw lift, then a slow walk away. Then, eventually, in dogs whose signals have been ignored repeatedly over time, a growl or a snap. This is the part that should change something for you, because the dogs that bite their owners are almost never dogs that bite without warning. They are dogs whose smaller, gentler signals were missed for so long that the only language left was the one humans finally pay attention to. A 2019 study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that the majority of dog bites toward owners are preceded by an extended sequence of calming signals, yawns, lip licks, head turns, whale eyes, that were either not noticed or actively dismissed. The bite is the last word in a conversation that has been happening for hours, sometimes for years. Reading the yawn correctly is not a small thing. It is the entry point to a vocabulary that, if you learn it, can prevent every escalation that follows. So how do you tell a tired yawn from a calming signal yawn? The difference is in the context, not the yawn itself. A sleep yawn happens during transitions, after a nap, before settling down. In the early morning, it is usually accompanied by a full body stretch, a soft expression, and a relaxed posture. It is not directed at anyone in particular. It is the body doing its own thing. A calming signal yawn happens during interaction. It is directed. It often comes with subtle body tension. A slight lean back, ears moving, eyes that are wider than usual or that briefly avert from yours. It happens when something is happening between you and your dog. When a tone shifted, when a movement was sharp, when a request felt like pressure. The yawn arrives in response to a specific moment, not as part of a transition. The test is simple. Ask yourself what was happening in the 3 seconds before the yawn. If something just changed in the environment, a tone, a posture, a tension, the yawn is almost certainly a signal, not a sleep cue. Here is what to do once you start seeing it. When your dog yawns at you in a moment that is not about sleep, treat it as a request. Soften your body, drop your shoulders, lower your voice, take a breath. If you were leaning over them, sit down. If you were repeating a command, stop and reset. If you were upset about something else, step away for a minute and come back. You will see something happen almost immediately. The dog will exhale. Their body will loosen. Sometimes they will yawn back, this time with a stretch, attached. In the soft, full-body way, that means everything has settled. You just had a conversation in a language you did not know existed 5 minutes ago, and you both understood each other completely. This is the moment most owners spend their lives never having. Not because their dogs were not speaking, because the speaking was happening in a register they were not tuned to. The deeper truth is this. Your dog has been managing the emotional temperature of your home since the day they came to live with you. They have been reading your stress, your frustration, your sadness, and they have been responding to all of it with a quiet vocabulary of soft signals, designed to bring you back to yourself. The yawn is one of those signals. It is small, it is easy to miss, and it is one of the most generous things an animal that lives in the chaos of human emotional weather can offer. Now you can see it, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You will start noticing yawns in places you never expected, and you will know every time exactly what your dog is asking you to do. If this changed the way you see your dog, share it with one person whose dog yawns at them and they have never thought twice about it. Subscribe to Cute Pet Family. Every week we decode the signals your pet has been sending. Since the day they came home, they have been speaking. It is time you finally learned to listen.